Evening, everybody. It's 5:56, and this is your closing comment for Tuesday, the 18th of October, and it is video number 1501. Okay, so it was a pretty interesting day today, and all of those stocks that I mentioned this morning as earnings beats continued higher for the most part. Primarily, we had Lockheed Martin, which this morning was only up about 15, closed at 431.84, up 34.52, 8.7%. Adobe came in with raised expectations. The stock had closed 292.98, down 52 cents. The last on it is 305.53, up $10 and change, 3.24%, and the stock, in fact, had been higher than that. I think it was as high as 312. Netflix crushed the earnings. It actually closed down on the day at 240.86, down 424. Then traded after the numbers up to 279, a 40-point move, and settled back in. The last was 272.51, and that was still up 27.40. And Intuitive Surgical, that's the robotic surgical company, closed the day 193.73, up $3.61, and it traded up to 212.80. So roughly $20. The last on it is 209.79, so it's holding most of that gain, and it's up 19 and change, which is 10%. So we had the market higher from the start. We got up to plus 652. In the Dow, it closed up 337 or 1.12. What was different today was some of these indexes were a little softer than yesterday, or not up as much as yesterday. However, the advanced declines were pretty good, 2.8 to 1 on the NYSE and just under 2 to 1 on the NASDAQ, but the volume, which I mentioned yesterday, was only 3.4 million, ballooned up to 5 billion. You can see that when something only goes in one direction, it tends to produce more volume because the move down initially produces little, and we've explained that. The VIX is down only 87 cents and still 30.50, which is a little bit higher than I would expect. So here's the S&P chart. I drew a line in it on Sunday's comment right here, right across there. And that number was about 37.80. Today's high, 37.32 was the close. It had been 45 higher at 37.77. And coming off this, higher high, higher low, looks great. Looked great here too. And then it ran into a wall. And I'm kind of thinking that that's probably what we're going to see here again. As far as the rest of the futures markets, gold was down, the grains were down, silver was down, copper was down. The oil was much lower, down 246, which is a surprise, but there was commentary today on the fact that Biden's probably going to release another 15 to 20 million barrels of oil. I don't know what they're going to do with them. The refineries are pretty close to capacity. So, as I said this morning, it is 100% not for the value of the people who need it. It's for the midterm elections. And he's trying to put as good a face on it as he can. And it's a jackass way of doing things. Okay, so gasoline was down 2 cents. Heating oil was down a nickel. Nat gas was down a quarter. As I said, gold was down 8 Silver down much less than that on a percentage basis, down 11 cents. Didn't really like the copper being down a nickel, but nobody really cares. The softs, we had cotton down a little, we had coffee down a little, sugar down a little, cocoa down a little. Lumber, on the other hand, was up $7.50 and is fairly solidly above that 480 to 500 up here at 517. The dollar was slightly lower after this morning being higher. It traded this morning when we were first looking here. It was 112.35. It closed 35 cents lower than that, which is not insubstantial. Bitcoin down, it was up this morning. Same thing with Ethereum, and the bonds were slightly higher. 6/32, which is 3/16 of a dollar, just less than a quarter of a point. In any event, that's what I have for you. Tomorrow we have mortgage apps at 7 o'clock. You don't need to be up to hear it. They're going to be lower. We have housing starts and permits at 8:30. At 10:30, we have the EIA crude inventories. And at 2 o'clock, we have the October Fed beige book. So hope everyone had a good day.